Ready to dive into a whole world of Christmas decorations. I mean, you sent in this Wikipedia article all about the history of Christmas decorations, and wow, I started reading it, and man, there's just so much we don't even think about, when we're hanging up all this festive stuff. Like, we're
Mm.
going to go through the origins of, like, everything, Christmas trees, those beautiful glass ornaments, everything.
Yeah, it's really amazing how these decorations are like little snapshots of history, like how cultures have changed and like blended together. You see ancient Roman celebrations mixed with like pagan stuff and then Christian symbols. It's all right there in our decorations, shaping how we celebrate the holidays now.
I got to admit, I never really thought about the Romans being part of our Christmas traditions.
Yeah.
For what was their deal? How did they celebrate, and how did that shape things later on?
So picture this festive greenery everywhere, big feasts, gifts. It's like Christmas, right?
Yeah.
Well, they had this festival called Saturnalia, and it happened around the same time as Christmas, and they would decorate with evergreen branches and just go all out celebrating. Sounds familiar, right?
Yeah, totally. So maybe those twinkling lights and wreaths we put up aren't that different from what the Romans were doing. But okay, what about the Christmas tree? Like, when did that whole thing start?
Well, that's a good question. It's a pretty wild story, actually. People have decorated trees forever, but the Christmas tree, as we know it, didn't really become a thing until the 16th century.
Yeah.
Thanks to those festive German Lutherans, they brought evergreens inside, decked them out with decorations, and, well, the rest is history.
But the Wikipedia article also mentions something about pagan traditions being connected to the Christmas tree, too. Right, like something about the winter solstice.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Long before Christianity, people in Northern Europe were celebrating the winter solstice, shortest day of the year. They had rituals with evergreen trees symbolizing life and hope during the dark winter months. So, as Christianity spread, some of those pagan customs kind of got absorbed into Christmas.
So the Christmas tree is really like this mashup of
Yeah.
different traditions, pagan and Christian.
Oh, that's pretty cool. It goes to show you that traditions are always changing and adapting. Even that story about St. Boniface and the oak tree.
Hmm.
It might be more of a legend, but it's a good one.
Okay, now you got to tell me about St. Boniface. What's the story?
All right, so picture it 8th century Germany, St. Boniface. This missionary is trying to convert people to Christianity, right?
Yeah.
And he comes across this group of pagans worshiping an oak tree dedicated to Thor, the Norse god. So he does what any reasonable person would do. He chops down the oak tree, makes a statement, and then he points to a fir tree and says, this evergreen tree is a symbol of Christ's eternal life. Whether or not that actually happened, the story stuck around, and people started associating fir trees with Christmas.
Bold move. I mean, and it definitely worked if you think about how important fir trees are to Christmas now. But a Christmas tree isn't a Christmas tree without decorations, right? The Wikipedia article talked about all these amazing ornaments, especially from the Victorian era.
Oh, the Victorians, they were all about those details. Man, their ornaments were incredible little works of art.
Let's talk about those Victorian ornaments. They sound so cool, from like delicate glass ones to those cotton batting ones. Where did all these different styles come from, and why were they so popular?
Well, it was the Victorian era, right? So things were changing fast. Industrial Revolution meant you could make a lot more decorations than before, which meant more creativity, more styles popping up.
So it wasn't just about making pretty things. It was about technology and the economy, too.
Ah, exactly. Things were changing fast.
Yeah.
And those beautiful glass ornaments and, all those intricate designs and details, those came from Lauscha, Germany, a town known for glass blowing. Whole families worked for hours making these ornaments. They were pretty expensive at first.
So how did these super detailed ornaments become so popular? It must have been a luxury item back then.
Well, this is a great story. So late 1800s, F.W. Woolworth, this American businessman, he's on a trip to Germany and sees these glass ornaments. He's like, these are incredible. Starts importing them, selling them in his five and dime stores. Really cheap. Suddenly, everyone can have these beautiful German ornaments. Some people even say that's what made Woolworth so successful.
Wow. So these ornaments from a little town in Germany ended up changing American retail. That's wild.
It really is. Something as simple as a Christmas ornament can be part of bigger changes. But the Victorians didn't just do glass. They loved those cotton batting ornaments, too. All the fruits and vegetables, little figures.
Yeah, those are adorable. It's like little puffs of Christmas magic hanging on the tree. What's the story behind those? How do they make them?
Another German export, often made by families at home. Can you imagine them all sitting around, winding cotton, batting around wireframes, painting faces, making tiny clothes out of crepe paper, adding glitter? It was like a family affair.
Like handmade little pieces of art, each one special.
Exactly. And way cheaper than glass. More people could afford them. You could personalize your tree with something homemade.
Okay, glass ornaments for the fancy folks. Cotton batting ornaments for the crafty folks.
Yeah.
What else did the Victorians have? The Wikipedia article mentioned something called Dresden ornaments. They sound super fancy.
Ah, yes. Dresden ornaments. They were like tiny masterpieces made from paper cardboard, all gilded, silvered, hand-painted. You name it. Animals, birds, ships, carriages, moons, suns, all in 3D. Some even had little gifts or candies inside.
I can just imagine kids trying to find those hidden treasures in the ornaments. So cool. Where did they make these Dresden ornaments?
Mostly in Germany, Dresden and Leipzig. They were super popular from the 1860s to World War I. Really beautiful, detailed ornaments. People would pass them down through families, like heirlooms.
So picture a Victorian Christmas tree. Glass ornaments, cotton batting ornaments, Dresden ornaments all together. Must have been something else.
Oh, yeah, a total Victorian Christmas explosion, full of details and festive cheer. But it wasn't just about fancy ornaments. They loved bringing nature inside, too. All that holly, mistletoe, ivy, bringing the outdoors in during the winter.
I love that they found a way to mix those natural elements with the fancy ornaments. Made it elegant and whimsical at the same time.
It's like they're saying tradition and new ideas can exist together. Simple, natural beauty and handcrafted details. It's about finding that balance that makes you happy during the holidays.
Well said. It seems like the Victorians really knew how to make Christmas magical. But we've only just started talking about Christmas decorations. Next time, we'll dive into those beautiful wreaths, outdoor decorations, and all those festive plants that bring a little bit of nature into our homes during the holidays.
It's kind of cool how the Victorians brought all that nature inside for Christmas. Like that's the same idea behind wreaths, I think.
Wreaths, yeah, those are like Christmas classics. You see them everywhere, on doors, windows, over fireplaces. But have they always been a Christmas thing?
Hmm. Well, wreaths have been around for ages, but their connection to Christmas kind of grew over time. The ancient Romans, they used wreaths too. Made them out of evergreen branches, symbolized victory and stuff, like, hey, we're important.
And then Christians came along and adopted the wreath too.
Exactly. They saw it as a symbol of eternal life, tied it to the whole Christmas message of hope and new beginnings.
So that's pretty cool,
Yeah.
right? This simple circle of evergreen branches has all this history and meaning behind it.
Yeah, and different cultures have their own takes on the wreath too. Makes it even more interesting.
Totally. Like those traditional Christmas wreaths,
Yeah.
made with pine, fir, cedar, all those good smelling branches.
Yeah.
And then you add the pine cones and berries and jingle bells, makes it extra festive.
And don't forget about those wreaths with dried fruits and spices and ribbons. Every region has its own style.
I love that each wreath is kind of unique. Like it reflects the person who made it and where they're from.
Yeah.
But okay, is there like a reason why wreaths are circular?
Oh, yeah, for sure. The circle has always represented things like eternity cycles, wholeness, you know? So for Christmas, it can mean that eternal life thing again, like Christ being born, and the seasons always coming back around. And those evergreen branches, well, they mean life keeps going, even when it's cold and dark outside.
It's amazing how much meaning is packed into these decorations. They're not just pretty things.
Nope, they're not. And speaking of enduring life, what about those other Christmas plants? Like holly, mistletoe, ivy, all bringing that touch of nature indoors during the holidays.
Oh, yeah. You can't forget about those. They're like the Christmas tree sidekicks.
Exactly, Holly, with those prickly leaves and red berries. It's been a Christmas thing forever. People thought it kept evil spirits away and brought good luck.
And then there's mistletoe. Gotta love mistletoe.
Mistletoe, that's a whole other story. All about love and romance.
Can't talk about mistletoe without thinking about kissing under it. Where'd that tradition come from anyway?
You got to go back to those Norse myths. For that one mistletoe was connected to Frigga, the goddess of love and all that. They thought it had magical powers, could bring peace and make people get along. So kissing under the mistletoe probably came from that, symbolizing love, togetherness, new beginnings.
Wow, so those kisses under the mistletoe are actually rooted in some pretty deep stuff. Love and reconciliation.
Hmm.
Huh. That's kind of cool.
It is. It reminds us that even those fun little holiday traditions have some serious history behind them. But it's not just about bringing nature inside. Christmas is all about decorating outside, too.
That's true. You see all those lights and decorations everywhere these days. Like everyone's trying to outdo each other with the most festive house.
Well, it's pretty interesting how outdoor decorations became so popular. People have always decorated their homes, but electric lights changed everything. End of the 19th century, early 20th century, suddenly you could have all those crazy bright lights. And as technology's gotten better, well, the decorations have just gotten crazier.
Yeah, it's like a competition sometimes. Who can have the most lights? The biggest inflatable Santa.
I think it's more about community spirit, though, Like everyone's getting in the holiday mood together, and it's not just houses either. A lot of towns and cities put up decorations too, makes it festive for everyone.
I love driving around and seeing all the different decorations. It's like a holiday light show.
It really is. And it's not just lights. You've
Yeah.
got the inflatables, the nativity scenes, those reindeer families. It's all part of the fun.
But, amidst all that fun, it's important to remember what Christmas is really about. The nativity scene is a good reminder of that.
Yeah, the nativity scene, it shows a birth of Jesus, reminds us about the religious side of Christmas. It's a really old tradition, goes back centuries.
It does. St. Francis of Assisi started it way back in the 13th century. Did a live nativity scene in Italy with real people and animals. It caught on pretty quick.
It did. From live scenes to those little figures we have now, some families pass those down through generations. Makes it even more special.
I love those family nativity sets. Each little figure probably has a story behind it.
It's like they become part of the family's Christmas story, connecting everyone to those who came before. Pretty powerful stuff. But, we can't forget about those stockings hanging by the fireplace either.
Stockings.
Ah, yeah.
Yes, so much anticipation and excitement on Christmas morning.
And those personalized stockings with names and designs, they all come from the story of St. Nicholas.
Oh, yeah. St. Nick, the original Santa Claus.
That's the one. He was known for being super generous and kind. He'd secretly give gifts to people by dropping coins down their chimneys. The coins would land in stockings or shoes that were left by the fireplace to dry.
That's where the stocking tradition comes from. A reminder of St. Nick's generosity.
It is. It reminds us that giving gifts isn't just about getting stuff. It's about sharing what we have with others. But, as much as we love decorating for Christmas, eventually we got to take it all down.
Yeah, that's the big question, right? When's the right time to take down all those decorations? Is it bad luck to leave them up too long?
Well, like a lot of Christmas traditions, that one's all about history and folklore and what people believe. Let's dive into all that and see what we find. It might surprise you. It's kind of funny how even taking down Christmas decorations has all these rules and superstitions, right?
Right. Like there's a right way and a wrong way to do it.
Well, for a lot of people, especially Western Christians, the traditional date is 12th night.
12th night. Always sounds so mysterious.
Yeah, it does. It falls on January 5th or 6th. Those 12 days of Christmas. Well, 12th night is the last one.
Ah, okay. So it's like the grand finale of the Christmas season.
Exactly. It's all about Epiphany, the big reveal of Jesus as the Son of God. And back in the day, leaving your decorations up after 12th night was like a big no-no.
Seriously.
Why is that? Bad luck, superstition. People thought it could bring bad stuff your way or even make the spirits angry.
So you got to get those decorations down by 12th night or else.
Pretty much. But there's another date too, Candlemas.
Candlemas. Okay, another one to remember. When's that?
February 2nd. It marks the end of the Christmas Epiphany season for some Christians. So it's like the absolute final deadline for taking down decorations.
Gotcha. So 12th night is the traditional date, but you got a little wiggle room till Candlemas. But what about those people who just love Christmas so much they keep their decorations up all year round? Are they in trouble?
Well, traditionally, yeah, it was considered unlucky. But these days, it's more about what people want, Some folks take everything down right after Christmas. Others like to keep the spirit going a bit longer. It's up to them.
Yeah, because it's about when you feel like Christmas is over. For some people, it's like December 26th. For others, it's weeks later.
Exactly. It's personal. But it's interesting how different countries and cultures have different traditions and superstitions about this whole thing. You mentioned earlier about England and those beliefs about throwing away decorations.
Oh, yeah. In some parts of England, they thought if you tossed your decorations, you might summon a ghost.
Moth.
And in other parts, they thought burning them would lead to someone in the family dying. Pretty intense stuff.
It is. It shows how much importance people put on Christmas decorations. They weren't just decorations. They were like connected to something bigger,
So they weren't just pretty things. They were almost sacred in a way.
Yeah, you could say that. And I think that's what we've really learned here. Christmas decorations are more than just festive baubles. They're pieces of history, little symbols, reminders of where we come from.
It's like each decoration tells a story, and they all come together to create this bigger story of Christmas.
And those stories are about us, about our families, our traditions, our beliefs. And they connect us to the past and to each other. Pretty cool, huh?
I'll never look at my Christmas decorations the same way again. It's like a whole new level of appreciation for them.
And I think that's what exploring these traditions is all about. We learn to appreciate the things we might take for granted. And we see how much meaning is packed into even the smallest things.
So next time you're putting away your decorations, maybe you'll pause for a second and think about all the stories they're telling.
And remember that the real magic of Christmas isn't just about the decorations. It's about the spirit of giving and kindness and love that we share with each other during the holidays.
Well said. I think we've officially unpacked all those boxes of Christmas decorations and discovered a whole lot along the way. Thanks for joining us on this festive deep dive.
It was fun. Happy holidays, everyone.